prayer walking has been a game changer for our ministry. The first is contrasting the normal way we pray with prayer walking. When we normally pray, I'm sitting somewhere, I'm laying in bed, praying, asking God for things, and then I move on about my day. With prayer walking, we're actually asking God to do some things in connection to what we're about to do. So God, please bring out the people who we're going to encounter today, who need you most, who we need to have conversations with, who we need to connect. Bring us people of peace. You're asking God for specific people and specific things, and then when you go out and walk and you meet the people and these connections start taking place, you can literally see the hand of God working in real time, live, while you prayer walk. When we were in Bakersfield, California, we helped with a human trafficking ministry a couple times, and he would ride around in a van. And the guy who drove the van, he would get to some intersections at times, and he would just pray out loud. He would say, "Lord, left or right, left or right." And I thought, that's a little bit crazy. I don't know what I think about that. I don't know that God is really going to direct us like that. And he'd say, well, God says left. He'd turn left. We go down a little dark alley somewhere, and I would think to myself, a little skepticism. I'd say, well, nobody's down there. Don't see anybody down that alley. And sure enough, there'd be a lady down there, and we would give her information and help her to get out of human trafficking. And so that really made an impression on me, that God really is working in real time, but I can actually pray about what I'm about to do, what's going to actually happen, for God to be working in that process real time, and for me to have the eyes to see what God is doing. It's just really a game changer. It's very, very different than the way we normally think about things. So when we prayer walk, sometimes we'll stop at an intersection. We may pray at an intersection, and then we may ask God for direction. Which way do you want us to go? And then you just feel which way your heart's being tugged. Does one way feel more strongly than the other? And maybe sometimes we get that wrong. Maybe sometimes we get that right. I don't know, but I do believe that God can direct our steps. I do believe that God has directed our steps. And I was with a friend in Franklin, Tennessee, and we were prayer walking downtown Franklin. And we got down to this street, and I was telling him, we just need to ask God if we're supposed to go left or right. And so we prayed about it, and we said, we need to go to the left. And so we went to the left. We walked down this little alley area, and it was seemingly a dead end. And I thought, man, that's kind of a bust. I guess we kind of missed the boat on that one, must have been mistaken. We get down to the end of this alley, and there's another little alley that shoots off to the right that we hadn't seen from further back. And so we continue down this little path, and there's a man standing down at the end of the way. He's got his back against the wall. He's very upset. And we walk up to him and we say, hey, we're just out here praying. We love this community, and we just are praying God's blessings on it and praying for anybody who needs anything to be prayed about. Is there anything we can pray about for you? And he said, well, I own this restaurant, and it's in the middle of COVID, and the revenue's down. I'm afraid I might lose the restaurant. All these workers are depending on me, and I'm really upset about it. And yes, if you would pray for me, that would be amazing. And he's very upset, very tearful. And so we encouraged him and prayed with him and asked God to bless those workers and bless that business and bless that area and bless this man. And that made an impact on that gentleman. God can and will direct our steps. We just need to stop and ask. We need to stop and ask. Jesus said, I am the good shepherd, that the sheep know my voice, that they can discern between my voice and a stranger, my voice and the hired hand. We need to come to learn the voice of God. That's the first thing. God working in real time. God can direct us. God will direct us. The second thing is we involve our children. We bring them on the prayer walk. We want evangelistic effort, testimony sharing, praying with strangers. We want all this to be normal to them. We don't want this to be a strange thing that's reserved for special people at special times who have certain titles and have gone to school so many years. It's like, no, you don't find that in the Bible. That's unbiblical to think like that. Not that the positions are unbiblical necessarily, but just to think like that completely ignores the priesthood of all believers from 1 Peter chapter 2, that we are a royal priesthood. He didn't just say your paid staff's a royal priesthood, all your elders are royal priesthood. He said you there in that audience where he's writing to these Christians that Peter's addressing. And so we have a priestly responsibility to minister. We say, a minister is a paid person. No, a minister is a servant. Some of them happen to get paid, but most of them don't. So we all have a ministry, and we are showing this to our children from a very young age, that we are in this world to serve people, to love people, sometimes to get uncomfortable, to approach people with the good news, to share that with them, to pray with them, to encourage them, to share a story or testimony. So prayer walking gives our children an opportunity to see their parents and other adults as we walk and talk and pray and laugh as we carry on going down the street to connect with other adults, which, by the way, Awana and Tim Hawks has both said, I believe, are the number one best determiner of the longevity of faith in children. is to have meaningful adult interactions and relationships outside their parents within the church. So prayer walking provides that to them, and then they get to see adults ministering, and then they get to pitch in. They get to maybe pray with someone or share a story or talk with someone, encourage someone. And if nothing more, one thing we do when we prayer walk is, as someone is talking with someone that we've met, everyone else is praying silently. Lord, open the hearts, open the minds, give opportunity to share the gospel, bless this person, help them with whatever they're dealing with. So the children can be praying for people in real time who are right in front of them. With their own eyes and their own heart, their own mind, they can be praying to God silently. Wow, like that is an amazing experience. We think, oh, maybe our children need to go on mission trips to some other country and see things. We did that this summer. It was amazing. We took our children to out of the country. It was a game changer, 100%. But it's also very expensive, and you can only do that every so often. But with prayer walking, you can literally do that on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, however often is best. But children need to regularly experience these things at a young age to make these things normal to them. We can raise up a whole generation of people who know how to minister, who know how to love people, who know how to engage strangers, who know how to have spiritual conversations. And it's just prayer walking. And then the last thing are the people. They're actually not the last thing, they're kind of the first thing. We encounter amazing people who are going through very difficult things, and they need someone to initiate and be intentional about bringing that gospel conversation to them. They may not want to go to a church. They may not want to go to find a minister somewhere, or a preacher or pastor or whatever. It's like, we need to go to them. This is what Jesus did. He was all about the people, and he went to them. He went out to them and found them and talked with them and engaged them. But our model and mentality of church is they come to us. We build it, they come. We build it, they come. We make the program, it attracts. We have vibrant worship, it attracts. We build things to shine light that attracts to us, rather than going out of our comfort zone to where the people are to make the difference. And when you do that, you're going to find the people of peace Jesus talked about in Luke 10, who are agreeable to your message, who are agreeable to your mission, who are open and receptive, who might then say, well, I want you to meet my friend or my neighbor or my coworker. And then you get into these new networks of people you would have never met, you would have never had any way to have an inroad in, except this person believes in what you're saying and doing, this person trusts you. We need to increase our repertoire of skills of what everyday ordinary Christians are doing and can do and will do to make this normal. I just hope and pray that you'll see the need for this. You'll see how simple it is. God needs us moving, and we get to watch God work in real time. We get to develop the faith of our children to be ministers on mission, on fire for God. Another thing about kids on mission is people on mission don't tend to fall away. And then again, we get to connect with amazing people who are going through often very deep spiritual hurt. And we get to be a light. We get to be part of their transformation process, that God is using us. What a joy it is to be a servant of the Lord. And so this is just one more way to serve. Hope you try it out. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions, concerns, thoughts, experiences, stories to share. We'd love to hear them. And if nothing more, hit that like button. But we love the fact that you're here, and we're going to keep giving you tools and equipping and encouraging on this mission journey that ordinary believers, ordinary disciples are on. It's not about the people who are paid to do this. There's only a handful of people who are paid to do this, and then it's not going to get done. We have to mobilize, equip, inform, and mobilize everyday, ordinary, unschooled people to do the work, because it's all doable. It's all simple. It's not rocket science, and God is empowering. God is directing. We just have to follow His lead. So y'all take care, and we'll see you again soon.